welcome to another Guildballing Informer video. As always, you are joined by me, Jay.
And me, Chris.
And this is On The Ball, episode 6.
6 already?
6, we're going for it.
Wow.
Do you know
only about 2 together.
Yeah, true. Do you know the GBHL just at 100 with the Speak Friend in question, James and Jay?
How long have they been doing that for?
Well, 100 weeks.
Oh, is it every week? It's without fail every week?
Pretty much, yeah. If they can't get together, you may find like just Jamie will do it with someone,
Wow,
like we do.
Wow.
So yeah, they've been doing it 2 years now.
That's
well done. And while we're on the subject, thank you, Jamie Guildballing, for stepping in last week.
Yep,
Helps,
thank you.
Saved it being just one of us, which is a bit boring.
Yeah. Depends which one of us. I'm getting a bit too cheeky now.
He is. He's getting above his station. We're going to have to rein him in a little bit, I think, fans. Thank you all for commenting as usual. And should we jump straight into the first question?
We will, yeah.
Go on, I'll let you take us on.
So first comment is from Jamie, just commenting on himself. Need more of that special guest in his life, which you've responded an hour's enough for anyone. Yeah,
an hour is more than enough. No, joking aside, thanks for getting involved. We love Jamie and we appreciate you helping out.
I'll jump on to the next one then. So Ian Marley's next one, Lord Ian Marley, friend of the show.
Yep.
So thanks for the question.
He was at Winter Wreath yesterday. He phoned me last night. He loved it.
Did he?
He didn't take the engineers in the end. He took the Masons. Last minute change.
Me. Yeah, that did surprise me.
I think he won 3. He lost his first 2 and then won 3, but good going considering how many games he's actually played. I think he's only played like 2 games.
He's like, to me, he's like the theory master. He seems to sort of know
he's ridiculous.
About all the players. But cool. So his question, it refers to Chris Hayes' video log actually. Team My Team.
Someone's actually watched that.
So, surprisingly, that one view was Ian Marley. Any of you find painting resin difficult to painting, different to painting metal in any way? How do you handle the model? In any way you handle the model? Does it feel different on the brush? And do you have a preference to which you prefer? Paint-wise,
I don't really paint my own stuff. No, I do paint every now and then. Every now and then I get the urge to paint when I'm not backheeling it onto Chris or James. Have you seen my engineers?
I have.
I'm going to show you. We're going to play a game with them. Like they're so pretty. I think I've banged on about this for the last couple of weeks on any video or anyone who listens to me. I am 100% resin. Yeah. I get why people like the metal for obvious reasons, like the weight of it and stuff. But I love the resin, and if we're talking about handling it, that's one of the main reasons. It will not chip if you drop it, and if you build it right and obviously reshape the bends it may have, it is perfect.
Yeah, I think I've always liked metal more, and the only thing that does put me off now with metals is the chipping. There's a bit on Rage's hat that I've got, and I keep repainting it right on the front, and it just keeps chipping off the tip.
That's exactly what. 2 things
much.
that have made me, because he's doing an all resin alchemist team for me at the moment. Yeah. It's Obulus's eyebrow. As daft as it sounds, it's tiny, and my morticians are very monochrome greys and whites anyway. Nobody would notice it, but because I know it's there, it glares at me. And Rage's hat on my union, just literally not even a millimetre on the rim of his hat is a chip. And obviously I've paid a lot of money for these models to be painted, and they look very, very pretty, and it's kind of heartbreaking when there's chips. So for me, it's resin, but you can probably... I have painted one resin model actually, Tenderizer, and it was an absolute dream to paint. I don't think I invest enough into painting, or I've painted enough to actually feel the difference, but it was a dream to paint. But a lot of that you can probably answer this better.
Well, for me, I think for metal, it's just metal seems a bit more forgiving on the paintbrush in terms of the way I paint. As you'll see in a video log that's coming up, I tend to just do very cheap and dirty, quick washes and base coats. And I think it's a bit more forgiving on metals than resin. But for the better painter, yeah, I think resin all the way. And the detail you can get on resin is much, much greater. So yeah.
So cheers for the question, Ian. I think we're going to play a Vascal game soon as well. I played him the other day.
With Ian?
Yeah, we play a lot because he's in Hartlepool. If anyone's in Hartlepool, Ian is dying for some players. So if anyone's in the Hartlepool area, please get in contact with Ian Marley. He's on the Guildballing Informer Facebook group and stuff like that. Do you know what I keep meaning to do? And I think there might be one on one of the groups. You can do like a Google map as a location finder, and everyone can just stick a pin where they are.
That's a good idea.
And it's a good way of ending games. So we might do that soon for the Facebook page.
So yeah, watch this space.
If you're in Hartlepool, get in touch with Ian. He'd love to meet you for a game. Next up is Gary Queen. First of all, thanks for asking the question, Gary. And he says, "Hi guys, really enjoy the show." Good. That's what we want.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing it. My question is, with union players nearly always being included in different guilds in tournaments, do you believe we would ever see 2 stat cards for union players? one that must be used in a pure Union team, and one that must be used when you use them with another guild?
For
I
me,
think the short answer is no.
No, well, unless the Union ones are at one stat higher for everything.
No.
But no, I don't think. I think the way that they've balanced it now.
It is a balanced game.
They work.
And I will admit, Union are at the top of the curve, but it is balanced and they are beatable and they do have weaknesses. I don't think you could dampen down. It would complicate the game too much.
Yeah, and I think as we've seen with the Season 2 players coming out, there are less and less Union models being used.
Yeah, absolutely. From the ones we've seen, which is effectively all the new players now, a lot of the lists I've built don't have Union in.
No.
Which a bit of me is because it's fun to do it that way, and a bit of it is because they're not as needed. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think it is. Everybody likes to play pure and likes to think they play pure, but previously Season 1, competitive wise, that was always the best way. I think going forward it will.
Going forward, you're going to see a lot of issues. The way I look at Union is they were such a necessary evil Season 1 because it stopped you seeing the same 8 teams. There would only be 8 teams. They give you variants to different teams.
Yeah.
And the more, now if you look at it by like Season 2, teams are not going to have 7 models, they're going to have like 10, 11 models.
Yeah.
And that gives you a lot of variations of team within a guild. While some teams had 6 and 7 models, like if you were an alchemist or an engineer player, without Union, your team was set. You didn't even have one player to swing in. So the Union were amazing in Season 1 because they gave us variation of teams and stuff. And I do think you'll see less and less of them.
And from speaking with the guys, the Steamforged creators, Matovich and Jamie, I think that was always the intention. I think the Union was kind of a temporary solution to a longer term thing that will get solved as the seasons progress. And I think I would like to see a position in Season 2 or maybe Season 3 where people have the choice to pick Union models in their team because they like the model and they like the fluff rather than from a playstyle competitive point of view.
Yeah.
So it's more than about something cool and aesthetics. If you want like loads of people with a big hat, you can pick some Union players.
Can you do an all-female team?
I
think Masons are probably
I heard somebody talking about this.
Honour, Harmony.
You can't at the moment, I don't think.
You can't do it at the moment.
Mist is a man. We always get this one wrong.
God.
Decimate. You can decimate.
See, that's what I get wrong. I get missed and I see decimate as a... Yeah.
Anyway. So thanks for the question, Gary.
Thanks,
Next one, Mid-Sussex Wargamers. Thanks
Sam Page
for the question. Great. Yeah, he comments on all of them, so keep that up, buddy. He's just bought Brewers, including MASH, and was wondering on the best lineup and tactics, etc. They seem totally different to the Fish.
They are totally different.
So just a shout out here, a spoiler for you guys. Brad Zalad won the Winter Wreath yesterday with the Brewers.
He's won a couple of tournaments now.
He's won a couple of smaller ones, but this was a big sort of 24, 26 man event, so he's done fantastic.
Brad the Brewer.
And he's a brewer.
If you want to check him out, we did a bit of a tournament interview with him at one of our first events. It's in the player interviews section on our channel, if you fancy spamming us today.
And I'm not sure exactly what lineup he used, but I know he did use MASH. I was speaking to him this morning. And he absolutely loves MASH as a snapshot machine. Just get him stood sort of 9 or 10 inches from the goal with Spigot stood near him to give him extra range and extra dice. And he's like 5 or 6 dice on the snap. So yeah, I think that from looking at your team there, he was thinking Tapper, Scum, Hooper, Spigot, Friday, and MASH. I really like that lineup with the inclusion of MASH instead of Stave. It's more of a football side of it. The only thing I'm thinking you might struggle with that is getting the ball back.
I'd drop Friday.
So if you're taking MASH, it may be one or the other as a striker. But Friday does do a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, you've got to take Tapper and Scum. Hooper is essential because he's your other 2-inch melee player. That's like my topic of the week, 2-inch melee players, but we're not going to go into that. So you've got your 2-inch reach players. Spigot's amazing. Spigot can be your footballer because he has his own football legend aura. MASH is amazing. You can put out damage, tackles, knockdowns, and he's 2-inch melee model with unpredictable movement, which is incredible. And then for me, I would probably take Friday out, and I'm really seeing how good Stoker is. The amount of damage that model can do is obscene.
And he's 2 armor, isn't he?
Yeah, Stoker is insane. Or Stave for the knockdown, because if a model's on the floor, Tapper can pretty much kill it. And then if Commanding Aura's up, Hooper will take anything off the table that's on the floor.
I would
Stave doing the rage knockdown is brilliant.
As a start, I would go completely opposite. If you've been playing Fish about football, I would go full on smashy to start with, and then you can throw in a little bit of football after that. But
and it really ups your game playing both opposites of it. So let us know how you get on with that, Sam, and hopefully I'll give you a game when I'm down there. So me even.
Yeah.
Justin Cader, I've promised him I'll read this question because you keep cutting out his suggestions apparently. So, hey guys, forgot to say how great the Scaldic was. Thank you, bud. I'm glad you enjoyed it. He won Most Sporting on day 2. He got all 4 of his games voted.
Justin's a top lad. I love him.
He's cool, isn't he? We've got a lot. I've told he wants to be. He's going to get trained by Guildballing Farmer apparently. That might be after you, not me.
Oh, right.
He's going to come to some tournaments with us next year. So, question 1. We'll deal with these as they come. So, which model has the best haircut?
Ooh, haircut wise.
Sakana's got chisel. I like because a lot of people paint like one strand of blue. Yeah. Sakana's got like a cool 90s. Didn't someone paint him? I think it was Sam Page actually, because it's such like a 90s quiff. You give him like frosted tips, proper boy band like, which was cool. He's got the best haircut.
My favourite too.
Vitriol's a bit.
Vitriol, that's what I was going to say, because she's got like, I don't know what it's
half shade.
Tattoo. Yeah, half
Isn't she supposed to be burnt?
Is it burnt?
I don't know.
I think it looks cool. And Catalyst, because he's got a mohawk. He's got like the shaved sides of his head.
I can honestly say I've never noticed that. I play Alchemist as well. Yeah, I think they're good. Who has the worst haircut?
My gutter conversion that's got pigtails, but
yeah, there's something a bit disturbing about that model. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna go with Sakana.
I'm gonna go with Vitriol, I think.
Cool. Question 2. I've played against Sakana.
There you go. Good link.
Yeah, segue. I've played against Sakana, who was used out of position as a ball controlling sweeper, which did very well in controlling the flow of the game. Which other players can perform out of position?
Surprisingly, completely not knowing this question was coming, I've been thinking about playing with my union and playing with Mist.
You use
as
union?
A sweeper.
That's not like you.
As a sweeper, and
yeah,
and because he literally can get anywhere, just to collect the ball. Now he's not got momentous tackle. It's not as easy to just dive in and score, but being able to just collect the ball and pass it off to somebody else would be amazing.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was listening to the new Who Cares Who Wins podcast on the way in. Worth noting, we are at Chateau de Hay today. We're not in the dungeon, we've been upgraded, we're in the house. Thanks for having us.
No, that's
I'm going to play some games. But I was listening to Who Cares Who Wins on the train this morning, and he was talking about games he's played with his morticians, and he uses Mist just to get out of the way with the ball. Yeah. Literally, and he uses Mist's movement just to stay out of threat range of models while the Obulus show goes and beats things down with. And that was interesting because I've never thought of using Mist. Mist is the obvious striker, and that tends to be how you look at using
Sakana would be beautiful for that with his free
Sakana's ridiculous. He's got his 8. I love Sakana, you know. I've heard some people with mixed feelings about him, but I'm crazy for Sakana. I think he's amazing. We've talked about this. I don't use fish often, but every time I do, I love it. And I played a couple of games with Jamie Giblin last week at his house, and I literally every turn it was sort of like 4 influence on Grayscales, 4 on Sakana, the rest on Shark, and it was just 3 models triple threat in the goal, and the likes of Jack moving around and using his heroic to put people out of place and things like that, and it was so much fun. I love him. It was great fun.
So can you think of any other players? The one that jumps out at me that's now changed was Hemlock, because she was designed, I think, to be played as a defensive midfielder, but everybody played her as like a striker.
Especially
she was so hard to
pre-errata when she was like 6+ defence. And still now, she's 5+, and she's still got... She gets a free counter-attack. She's great. She does get a free counter-attack, I'm not lying to her.
No, she doesn't.
She's poised. What's poised?
No, she's got Slippery now. Which is you get +1 defence on parting blows
there we go.
to take it to 6. But
I do know this game.
But So I can't think of any other. I mean, I would encourage people. We've said this before on the show to try. Just because it says a certain position on a card doesn't mean you have to play them.
Other than the obvious ones, like your strikers want to be, for me, sort of mid-table, so they can get the ball, and with their an average striker's move, threat range, and kick distance, they're going to be able to do it. And your goalkeepers, like your Tendoras and your Compounds, they're going to be at the back of the field because of what they get for being there. Other than that, you play against what your opponent's doing, really.
I always like the idea of playing Fangtooth like as an attacking midfielder. like proper in their face, especially as a fighty team. Like
well,
throw them up.
That's what he does. He just runs over and goes, "Dad, you're all on the floor," and you're staying there. And then question 3: what is your favourite fluff fact about a model? You're thinking about Gutter. Gutter had a very good time on a pirate ship. That's all I'm going to say. That's my favourite fluff fact. No, I like the engineer. I like the whole ballista salvo velocity thing. So ballista kind of got she was called Quistis, I think. Salvo's sister Quistis killed, and they built Velocity, which is like a replication of her. And cool. I like the relationship between those three. I really love the engineer's fluff. What about you?
I don't want to sound like I'm playing the same record, but with the Union, I like Coin. I like Blackheart feeding the money to Coin. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good.
I do like the ones where there's an obvious in the fluff. I think the Morticians where is it Silence that's
Silence
to be
wants
the
to
boss.
overthrow.
I quite like those sort of things and how
that's interesting.
that progresses.
It'd be cool to see Silence as a future captain.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'd say he's built for it as well, because he's got his really cool character plays, and he's got a disturbingly good playbook. He's like Vitriol for me. He's built for like AoEs and messing up with activations, as Vitriol is built for scoring goals. But if they switch to damage, they can do way more than you'd expect. I've caught more than one person out with both Silence and Vitriol.
Yeah.
The beasts. Anyway, I'd just like to say the show is great. It would be great to see other in-depth videos to give tactics and tips. Loving the Meet the series. Please do more. Well, that is all coming. I am doing Meet the Alchemist. I'm going to film Meet the Alchemist today if we've got time, if not tomorrow. Because I'm slacking with it. I made a promise saying I'm going to get it to you next week, and did I? No. Real life gets in the way, but that is coming soon. Anything you want jumping up the queue or you want to see specifically, stick in the comments below, and I reckon we can make it happen, can't we? Between us?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Next question is from Fat Piranha, which is
Johnny Cannon.
Yeah,
we like.
So
he's YouTube famous now. You're YouTube famous, buddy.
Jonathan Cannon.
Yeah. Don't dance.
So question 1, what are your hopes for Season 2 captains and mascots in terms of how they'll influence the current team lineups? Do you see players that are not regularly used seeing more pitch time?
Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like 2 things from the captains. Maybe to bring a slightly. You don't want them to be sort of replications of the Season 1 captains with different playbooks. You want them to bring a new style. And yeah, I'd like them to bring in the players that aren't being seen as much. So you're looking at like Meat Hook. I don't think you see enough of Meat Hook anyway. I don't
think I've ever seen.
Do you know what it is with Meat Hook? It's the generating one influence. We've said this before, haven't we? And you do see a lot of Jack now. Stoker. But again, Stoker's getting a bit of a resurgence at the moment. People are realising how much damage. And he is a 2 influence player when it's with Stave, isn't it? Don't they have the 4-inch? Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'd like to see in new captains. Yeah,
and I'd like we said before, I'd like to see the same sort of outcome but in a different way. So for like Corsair and the Fisherman, he's like a defensive midfielder slash like someone at the back. So hopefully it'll be some way of ball retrieval or something that will help with their footballing side of it. And then who else have we seen? We've seen Esther's.
We've seen the art for Esther's. We've seen Pinvice.
So again,
that excites me.
Pinvice, I think, looks completely different. It looks like it's a melee.
No, I think Pinvice looks like. I think I've said this before. I think it looks like Meat Hook, but like because she's got the same pose and she's got the claws, but now she's got wooden legs and they're a bit more robotic. I think she's like Meat Hook reborn, but probably not. I know nothing.
So thanks for that question. Yep. We've got question 2. With the recent success of the Skaldic Shield,
thank you,
and very recently Snapshot of the Outpost, do you see upcoming tournaments regularly hitting 32 players? With of course the Winter Wreath and Frozen Balls both being extended to 32.
Yep.
So as we've said earlier, the Winter Wreath was yesterday, and that got 28.
But I think they sold 32, and they had like the Skaldic, they sold 32 and had a couple of drops. And Frozen Balls all 32 attended. I saw that yesterday. It was 32 actual players. There was no dropouts. So yes, and I think next year, and I'm hoping for our next one, we're going to go above 32.
The one on the 10th of Jan, is that? What was that one? I think what was the one yesterday? I don't think it was. Frozen Balls is one on the 10th, and that's 32 sold out.
No, it was Frozen Balls yesterday.
Was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what the one in Jan is, but that's 32. But yeah, there's loads of 32s now. So I think that I think we'll be pushing a 64 event next year.
I don't think we're... For our next one, I'm hoping
We'll get 149.
No, 132. Don't get carried. No, I'm hoping 40. 40 is like if you look. We had like 16 at the first one, and we hit 32. No, we hit 26 with the Element Games on the Guild Cup, and then we got to 32. I'm hoping just to keep going. And more information about that very soon. We need to have some conversations about that today because it needs to move.
Cheers, lads. Keep up the good work. And where's his mascot T-shirt?
Who promised him a mascot T-shirt? Not me. Well, I'll tell you what. You buy yourself a mascot T-shirt, and while you're there, buy us one, and then everybody's happy and Merry Christmas.
We do need to make a set of sort of team shirts. Me with captain on the back, and you with big guy.
Do you know what? You've not seen me at a tournament yet. I'm going to crush you. Yeah. It's coming.
So thanks for the questions, Johnny. Cheers.
Next up, we've got Hotgate Gaming. This is James. Hey, buddy. Thanks for commenting, as always. He really supports us, which is good stuff.
He's a top lad, so
and
check him out.
Go and check out Hotgate's Gaming on YouTube. He does, if I'm sure you've all seen it, Abattoir Away Days. He's doing a Guild Ball match report series.
Yeah.
He's forced us to up our games and start making some.
Yeah.
They're good though. You've been in one? Two?
Yeah.
I keep promising to be in one, but time's a bit tricky, but I will be on it soon. But go and check them out. It's some great Guild Ball match report. Goodness be there. So he says, happy to support the show, and we are glad you do. Although questionable choice of guest this week. Controversial. I'll trim down and refine my last question. So he asked sort of, if you had to pick 8 people from our community and put them in a team, you come into some money and get to design a team of players.
Do you know how much it costs?
Wasn't it
Kickstarter?
Wasn't it $3,000?
I'd love to do it, but
and the engineers are the team that were team backed, and I believe it's a guy who owns a wargaming store in Canada, and
all
he's based the models on his employees.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a few of the other players, Jack, Midas, they're all.
And I think they were £500. I would so pay £500 to be.
What if I?
Well, I don't know. It depends which one I got. Like, if I was Midas, I'd be like, woohoo! But others.
Yeah. So
anyway, number 1. What kind of guild would they be, and what would they be called? Me and Phil from Guildball tonight have joked about this. Like, we say that all those podcasters and YouTubers, they should honour us by making the Messengers Guild.
Yes.
And we should all get a model because we're great and it's never going to happen. But we'd be the Messengers Guild, I think.
Yeah. So
although that really sounds really lame playstyle.
Fine.
Yeah, we'll be the Messenger Guild. So, number 2, what would they specialise in?
I think we should be a bit like the Morticians, like we feed people.
Yeah, a bit tricksy and like blackmail and deceptive and controlling activations. And,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, there we go. So, pick 8 players from Guildballing friends to fulfil the following roles. So, captain.
You agree with Jamie that I was captain last week?
No.
I'm sure you
did. No, you're the mascot. So, I'm going to take the captain.
Yeah.
Mascot?
No, I'm not a mascot.
Who could be the mascot? Quinn.
Quinn. Johnny wants to be the mascot.
No, little Quinn could be the mascot. We like Quinn. Sorry, Quinn. He's going to rage about that next week.
He can have we could discuss this. He can have his little car. He wheels around in his little car.
Like one of those red Tyco things you get as a kid. So Quinn Duggan will be the mascot. Striker. Who's going to be the striker?
I want to be a striker, like Peter Crouch.
Do you want to be the striker? Because you're big and gangly.
Because when I actually played football myself, I was a defender, but I always longed to be the striker.
So you're going to be the striker.
Big gangly striker, and you could just like lump the ball up to me, and like I've got like a 5-inch reach, and I can pull the ball.
I have to admit, me being a captain's a bit ridiculous, but I'm claiming it. It's happening.
Goalkeeper.
Head ball.
The man on the 70mm base.
The man on the 50mm base. We'll stick it down.
Head ball.
Yeah, should we go with head ball?
Well, we got the big guy next, so the goalkeeper will have to be someone else.
Who could be a good goalkeeper?
So we've got. We need to find some friends first.
I haven't got any. Right, let's think. Goalkeeper. JP?
Yeah.
We're going to put JP in as a goalkeeper?
And he's like a ridiculously ferocious. Like you go anywhere near the goal and he just rips your head off.
Yeah, true.
Because he likes the butchers. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
And he's my dad. He's my honorary dad. He likes to think.
This were we going like? Yeah. I thought Darren Hay was your dad.
I've got a couple. So.
This is very Jeremy Kyle. Big guy / girl.
Ball.
Yeah, we'll stick head ball in as the big guy. Winger.
Giblin? Or James?
Put James as the winger. James can be the winger.
He's James will be like Flint. He's like.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
No?
Gay?
No, I was going to say confident and
yeah, we'll put James down as like the Flint, the winger sort of speedy player. Board control specialist, Giblin.
Yeah. But he loved that gut and string, didn't he?
Yeah, gut and string was his baby, and now he just pushes people around with Jack. So Gibbling, you are our board control specialist and the damage dealer. Considering this is supposed to be the Messengers Guild, like we've picked nobody else who's doing YouTube stuff. So the damage dealer, who's going to be the damage dealer that we know?
Steve Newton.
No, Jack Newton.
Jack.
Jack Newton.
No, we'll have Jack and Steve. They're the same model, and Jack's on his shoulders, like
a prison green.
But on his shoulders. So Steve just like saunters around, and Jack's on top,
detaches and then just murders things
with a massive mallet. Yeah, let's do that.
Done. Hope it helps, and look forward to the next episode. Well, thank you as always for commenting, bud.
Another question from Justin. So, hey guys, love the show. Jay, turn your phone off. You've had one already in this episode before you record. Please read the following. Guildballing.
These
gangster.
are
These
like just in case, just to point out, he went. These made me laugh so much because I'm a big kid. He went to town with naming it, and I think Chris dodged reading them out once. So like he's just spamming us. So we're gonna sit and we're gonna read these, and you lot pick your favourite, and I'm just gonna laugh for the next 2 minutes.
Guildballing gangster. Going for Guild. Bob the Gilder. The snarling guilds of Jay.
What's that supposed to mean?
GBI. Taken me out. Icy sponge baby. Yeah, they're all good. I'm not sure what segments they'll be. When we do our new renovation show, we'll call it GBI SOS.
Yes, we will. Yeah.
But until then, taking me out when we do the dating show, when we try and get some of our mates' dates.
No, I think you're being silly.
Okay, Justin. There you go. You've had your time in this.
Some excellent names, and I did read these the other day, and they made me chuckle.
So, question: should Pure Guild get a team-wide bonus trait, and what could that be? I'm thinking something like Get 'em Lads that lasts for more than a turn.
Which one's Get 'em Lads?
It's Ox's +1 damage and -1.
No, you can't have that for more than a turn for playing Pure Guild. It'd be obscene.
So something to encourage.
So if you took a Pure Guild, you could get like a team bonus trait.
Well, I think that instead of that, what we could have is like.
I mean, you do see some abilities that are friendly guild.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe there's more of that. More of people's legendaries or heroics were guild only.
Yeah.
Might prevent union inclusion more. A team-wide bonus trait.
Let's pick a couple of teams.
You could get a pat on the back by the TO.
Yeah, high five.
Yeah.
What could be a good fish? Thing is, giving a trait to everything just for who you've got on the pitch could easily be too powerful, unfortunately. But hopefully we will see more of it in the future. So, cheers for the question, Justin. And next up, we've got the wonderful Phil from Guildball tonight. We love having
Phil.
I love Phil. And he says, I don't like that people are by default allowing the presence of Midas on the other side to dictate their team selection. Do you think that more people should be willing to just play through the possibility that he might grab one of the scary plays like Scything Blow or Unmasking? I think if you give Midas Scything Blow, you're not going to play through it. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's very tough unless you.
I think there's certain things. I think I've played a game when I first started when I didn't really know what Midas did. I knew he could steal stuff with Gutter, and he took Scything Blow, so I killed him in that turn. So and then he kept coming back on at the back, and then I killed him again. So it does depend. It depends how pivotal that player is within your team. Gutter is quite pivotal in my union sides.
Yeah. It is always going to determine what you bring. I know Midas is probably the most prolific for it, but a lot of models are going to determine what you take. But like the Unmasking and the Scything Blow, yes, they do determine what I would take against him. But a lot of seeing him take Super Shot and Where'd They Go, you accept that. Like I wouldn't not use a model.
Yeah, I wouldn't not use Shank or Super
Shot because of that. But unfortunately, it is a shame, I suppose, because. But if a good player can take Scything Blow, he's going to kill you.
I do think there are two things that will mitigate this slightly going forward. The first one is alternate captains. When you rock up at a table, if somebody is playing Alchemists and they have Smoke and Midas, I think you're more likely to see people gamble and think, right, okay, well, I'll take Gutter then. because there's a 50-50 chance, and
see
what's going to go with it. So I think
it depends on the style of tournament and whether it's deploy your team or alternate.
And secondly, there's true replication coming on another model.
Hoist.
Yeah,
we're getting it on a non-captain.
It won't just be Midas anymore. So again, it might turn people's mind and think, well, I need to learn how to play with somebody stealing true replication.
To be honest, and this might not go down so well, a little less gutter in games is good, because every team I play that can take gutter always. I'm kind of fed up of playing against gutter.
So I think anything limiting gutter is quite a good thing.
Any team that plays that she for me is like right at the top of skill in non-captain players.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
I play her so often it just becomes like I want to play something different. So I'm kind of okay with it because it keeps.
And for me, for Union, I have other options, decimate and things, and I would quite like the challenge of perhaps playing more games without gutter. So yeah,
absolutely.
Thanks for the question.
Cheers for the question, Phil.
Next one is from the old Buzzard. So he's active on the forums and stuff.
Cheers for asking a question.
I've been surprisingly emotionally involved in a rules question debate on the forum. I'd not realised I'd invested so much in the rules set. Goal missed, where does it scatter? Have you seen this rules query?
I've not seen it on the forum.
So the rules query is, if somebody shoots and misses, and then you determine where the ball scatters to, if that scatter would end behind the goal, in actual fact, because the ball travels along that line, does the ball actually hit the goal and stop in front of the goal, rather than landing like most people seem to play it behind the goal?
Go behind.
That's what people intuitively have been doing and say.
That's what I've done.
But according to the rules as written, it should stop because it hits an obstruction, so it stops in front of the goal. That makes a massive difference for teams like the Fishermen.
It depends if it's counted, because certain kicks don't apply, like
whether it goes over and lands. Or
have the Lawyers Guild?
They are discussing it.
It's in discussion.
So
because the thing is, I think it has to stay the way that it will be behind the goal, because it'd be very difficult for a ball to be there otherwise.
Well,
and the fact that the ball going behind the goal and lack of momentum is a bit of a thing.
That's what people are arguing as well, that if the ball stops and hits the goal, then you've scored because it's hit the goal, although you've missed the shot. So it seems a bit, the fluff and the rules don't work. So it will get resolved. But his main question wasn't really about that rule specifically. It was just, have we ever been so upset by a rule that you've been thrown the toys out of the pram and left the game system? So I think he's thinking generally about other stuff.
No, I've never, like, do you know the one that gets me? And I'd never, like, quit a game or a game system, but I always sort of, like, tense up and go, I never, to this day, I think we've been playing Guild, it's got to be close to, it's coming up to a year in March, and I've played a hell of a lot of Guild Ball, and I still forget about unpredictable movement, and it makes me die a little bit on the inside every single time, because I won't, like, as much as most players will go, do you want to, like, I'll leave it, because I've made the mistake, and I'll learn if I leave it, but I don't learn by leaving it. But no, I've never wanted to, like, rage quit a system. So I've not played many systems properly. It's sort of been like the Hobbit. I've dabbled in a lot of stuff, but it's sort of been the Hobbit and then Guildballing.
I haven't had one where I've had to rage quit. Malifaux I played for about a year, and after moving, and I'm quite inexperienced with the games I've played. But now I've played Guild Ball, I've completely been put off Malifaux because of the complexity of the rules and things. So I think more than something that makes me throw the toys up, I think there's a lot of unnecessary rules in some systems, and I think that's where Guild Ball excels, because it is fairly simple.
I think the games that would make me, I don't think I'd ever do that, but I think the games that make me not want to play them for the same reasons are games where, and I believe like 8th edition of Fantasy was famous for this, you and your opponent would put your armies on the table and there was no way you could beat an opposing army. It was literally, that would frustrate me, but no.
And I saw Matt and Rich getting a demo for Age of Sigmar by
They were down on Thursday night. Yeah. I always miss it when we get like Matt and Rich.
And Rich nearly rage quit Age of Sigmar with the rule that you at the end of every turn you roll to see who goes first.
So you can go last
and then first, and that just makes it really powerful.
Yeah.
But no, not really. So thanks for the question.
Cool. Next up is Son of Gloin. Hey fella, just getting into Guild Ball. Good choice. Well done.
Do you know this guy?
No.
He's commented on a few changes.
He commented on Facebook and he sort of said, "Oh, what do you think?" And me totally fishing for questions. I was like, I think that's a great question for the Q&A.
The Q&A.
But cheers for asking a question and coming over, bud, and we hope you stay involved. And he said, "Hey fella, I'm just getting into Guild Ball and I've bought some Masons. Good choice. Few questions. How would you base them? Would you go for a grass, field or stone bases? What would you do?
I have done stone on myself, but I've done a lot of mine stone just to keep it consistent. I really like it when people do grass.
Yeah, the models that, for me, the models that James paints for me, they all have like you'll see my engineers later, and I'm going to put a video up because they're beautiful. They've all got like really intricate cogs worked into grass.
Cool. So
the models that James does, I let him, he has free reign because he makes some beautiful like handmade bases. But the stuff like my brewers and my butchers that I painted, I give them grass bases, and I did it in the Hobbit as well for like models that really wouldn't suit a grass base. They got a grass base because I think it looks better. Because when you put them on the table, which is usually, well, in Guildballing it's always going to be grass unless you've made a custom board. And I think it looks cool when your base semi reflects the surface they're playing on.
Yeah.
I'm stroking the board here, you can't see this, but so for me, I do like the grass sort of stuff anyway. But I think masons would lend themselves quite well to stone. Maybe
you could do a bit of both. You could have a bit of little rubble sprinkled in, a bit of a grassy pitch. So
tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to post if I remember. So I'm probably not going to do it. In the description for the video, I'm going to post a link to a good friend of mine, Matthew Davies. You don't know him. Generation Shift 92. And for the Hobbit, he's made some really cool bases. He's actually made them himself, and he casts them up and sells them. And they're like resin bases, and they are like just like sanded with little paving stones elsewhere. They're made as like Osgiliath bases from the Lord of the Rings, so like, do you know, things like that, like Gondor. And with grass on, they'd look really cool. And I have spoke to him. At the moment, they are just like GW based, but I have spoke to him about maybe doing some for Guildball. So I'll see if we can see if he's still keen on doing that, and maybe let you have a look at his bases, and they could be a good mix of the two.
And have a look on my hobby video log, because I've done all my teams on the first episode, so you can see what I've done in terms of stony rock bases and whether that's something that
there's like team show. We've got a full team showcase section.
So have a look on there.
Loads of shameless plugs. And his next section is, what sort of colour scheme works well for them? I'm thinking stone armour, but struggling for a colour to go with them. So masons, I think we've only seen sort of 2 or 3. We've seen the metal armour.
Yeah.
I've seen gold. Now Ian Marley. Did you see Ian Marley's this week?
Yeah, I did. And Lee from down at our club, Lee, I can't remember what his name is.
Lee.
But Lee. He's done his gold armour as well. So.
And James actually painted for Jamie Giblin. Have you seen those?
Yes.
They're like blue marble armour. It's
cool.
It's just ridiculous. They are very, very pretty. But I think stone would work really well. What colour would you put? If it was stone, if it's like grey stone, I'd like to see cream with it. Do you know, keep it like a really muted. Yeah, that'd look nice, like cream and stone.
We've seen a lot of the blue, the traditional blue sort of colour scheme.
You see, I think across the board, Guildball are really lending themselves to like bright, vibrant colours, and I'm liking every now and then you see quite a muted scheme on them, and it looks really good.
Yeah, I think that's a grey armour, cream, and then you could have a few tiny bits of like really bright blue.
Just pick out like a lot of models have like wristbands or bandages. Just have like accent them with one colour, just on small parts of each model. But let us know what you end up doing and keep us posted. Yeah, let us know on the Guildballing forum on Facebook. Little technical issue there, seamless cut. But thank you, Son of Gloin, for asking a question. Next up, we've got. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah. So this is Sam Page again, Mid Sussex Wargamers. Great video as always, and nice to see the GBHL well represented. So
yeah, there was a lot of GBHL at the Skaldic.
You, Jamie, James, and you've all got the t-shirts, the maroony t-shirts.
Oh, they're from James's last tournament that he ran. George Perkins, the Hobbit community, Jay Clare. There was a lot at Skaldic, I think the Hobbit community has really taken to Guildball,
So his question this week: do you know of any events being held in East Grinstead in January?
No.
Nah.
Yes, I do. And again, in my seriously lackluster attempts to do stuff for the channel this week, I have failed. But I do have an announcement video coming in the next couple of days. On the 30th of January, I'm running an event down there. It's going to be a 2-day event at Mid Sussex Wargamers in East Grinstead. Sam's hosting it. I'm going to TO it for him. Sam will be playing.
So for those like me that don't know, where's East Grinstead? Is it down south?
Down south.
Down south.
For me, it's down south. He'll argue he's nowhere near London, but from Manchester, it's way down south. But plenty more information, and the rules pack is going up soon.
And Liam Hall, this is he gave me a bit of a ribbing on the forum for the Facebook post I put saying that everything I talk about is in Manchester, is up north. So this
there
is your
you go.
down south.
This is
link.
us spreading our wings. So we're taking Guildballing form on tour. So there will be much more, I won't say too much, but much more information soon. And anyone watching this who can get down there or fancies making the trip, please do it.
Pencil
it's
in
be
end
a
of
fun
January.
weekend. 30th of January, that weekend. It's going to be a 2-day event.
Day after my birthday, so get buying presents now.
So again, cheers for asking a question, Sam, and I will speak to you soon, bud. Next up, we've got the old buzzard. Where is this link you spoke of about the Masons team? Okay, so he's talking about the Meet the Masons video. If you go onto on the videos tab, or no, the playlists tab of our channel, and there is a folder called Season 1 Team Reviews. If you go in, no, hang on, rewind all the way back because it's not on our channel.
That's why you can't find it.
There we go. So if you go onto YouTube and search for the GBHL podcast, you will find Jamie Giblin's YouTube channel, and every or most Tuesdays when he can, he posts Guild Ball content. So if you go onto the GBHL podcast YouTube channel and again click on the playlist tab, you will find the Guild Ball TV, and he has Meet the Fishermen and Meet the Masons in there. So give it a watch. If I remember, again, I'm promising all these things, I'll stick the link in the description below. Give it a watch, let Jamie know what you think about it, and let us know what you think about it, and we hope to hear from you again next week on that one. So cheers, old buzzard.
Next one is from Paul Waters. Now I recognise the name. He is the pundit from 1066 Wargaming, so we've mentioned their gaming group before.
Haven't they sold out a 32? Were they the one who sold a 32-man event in an hour?
Yes, it was the Field of Screams down south in Hastings.
Has that event been? Or is it?
No, I don't think it's been yet. I can't remember what the date was, but yeah, they've got an amazing Guild Ball community down there. They've got loads and loads of players, and Paul is their pundit, so he's doing a fantastic job down there.
Good work, Paul.
And I speak to Hasbex a little bit on Facebook, top lad. So they've got some great guys down there. So if you're down around there and you've not got involved in that community, go along and see them. My question this week: do you know of any events being held? Oh no. What are the top tips would you give to TOs to run a successful event and make the day run smoothly? So you can answer this.
Top tips, let's see. So number one, don't panic. You've seen me the morning of every one of my events and I'm just stressed and everything's done and you'll still see me running around flapping, sweating. It really don't stress. So literally relax. It will all run smoothly. One thing, top tips, be very prepared.
So what sort of thing do you have to arrange for a tournament?
Yeah. So obviously you need to, sort of pre-tournament, you've got to make sure, obviously you've advertised your tickets well, engage in everyone who's coming, really keep them involved, and obviously you need to make sure they know where the event is. If you're putting on something on the Saturday night, arrange a meal or something, give them information on local hotels, and that really appeals to people to come when all the work is done for them. If you can say, this is our event, the ticket will cost you this, here's the local hotels, here's how to get to us. Really, a really good rules pack can really sell an event. Worth noting as well on this subject, Paul, is go and check out Guild Ball Tonight. They've actually done a podcast where they cover this, and it's quite interesting, where they cover how to successfully run an event, and it's really interesting actually.
What's your policy on buying of tickets? Because I've seen a few events just advertised on Facebook where people just turn up on the day to pay, and they've been a bit of a disaster.
For me, clearly Paul doesn't have to worry about selling his tickets. They flew out the door. But for me, it's all paid for by
in advance.
You all pay in advance on Guild Ball. If you cancel before the event, a refund. If you just don't turn up, unfortunately not, because you do have to pay the venue.
Do you have a sort of a deadline?
No,
a week before or a day before?
No, with where we've run our previous events, it's very much off on the morning. So
I guess the person that's cancelling, I know sometimes it's inevitable, but think about, we need to try and resell that ticket to somebody, and if you cancel the day before, then that makes it really difficult.
But top tips for a successful event is be prepared, double check everything. I can openly admit you were involved in this at the event I ran for Element Games. To be fair, through no fault of my own, it was actually a software issue, but through not checking enough times, there was a slight issue with VP calculations, and third and fourth were mixed up. It didn't really affect anything else, quite crucial, but Chris unfortunately lost third place and went back to where he belongs, which is fourth. But literally be prepared, have a ringer, that's huge. You do, especially you guys. You're selling out 32-man events for these. Your next one's no doubt going to be much bigger.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll be there. You get a ringer, because the last thing you need when you've got 16 games to sort of be available and on a hand for is to be trying to play a game. Have somebody who will come on the day, who is prepared to be, if you need it, because someone drops out, so your numbers go uneven, just to play. We're lucky we've had Rich Loxham as a ringer, which was good.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Loxham.
Rich Loxham, yeah. So just things like that, really.
Like having a copy of the errata, the latest errata, rules.
Yeah, get yourself set up. I had a copy of the errata, a copy of the, the clarification thread from the forum, things like that. Make sure everyone's aware if they need to bring clocks or if they will be provided, and mats and stuff.
And you did a shout at the start of the Skull that there was a recent rules clarification, and you did a shout out at the start of the tournament just so that people are aware.
Anything very fresh. And there's a couple of things I always remind people, which is I joke about it, but I ask it. Everybody would, but I remind them to be nice to new players. And I always say, smash them, but do it nicely. Teach them a few things. And a key thing, especially with Guild Ball, where it's all about minutes and things, state your intention.
Yeah, before you move along.
Yeah, and then there is no discrepancy over if the way you've moved a model. If you state your intention as you're doing it, it really helps remove a lot of those niggly things. And if in any doubt, remind your players to ask you that. Yeah, literally, it's what you're there for.
Just pause it and then get the rules clarification.
And feel free to shout you
and then there's no bad blood between players.
But Paul, I'm sure it's going to be a very successful event. I hope to attend one soon. And if you're available the 30th of January, see if you can make the East Grinstead. Wouldn't it be cool to meet some of our fellow pundits?
Yes.
So cheers for the question, Paul. I hope that has helped. Check out Guild Ball tonight and drop us a question next week. Let us know what you think.
So last question of the day, do you want to take this one?
Is this the last one?
Yeah.
It's the last one, yeah. So this is from JS Imbio. Apologies if I've pronounced that wrong. And he says, which players do you think are best in-game at their respective positions, all things considered? So, let's start at the back. The best goalkeeper. I've gone full circle on this.
Yeah, I know you have. I still think Compound for me.
And Tenderizer. And purely because of... Although... I actually realised the other day that Compound has a momentous tackle with a dodge on too.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that the as a goalkeeper, the thing that makes him a goalkeeper is the negative effect to shooting. Yeah, he has to activate it, so it messes up your order activation. But I'm going to go Tenderizer just to mix things up. So the best defensive player. Arguably, it could also be the best midfielder and attacking player. Now, my best defending player at the moment is Fangtooth.
Yeah.
Oh no, he wants to be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I'd go with someone like Mallet.
No. Jack.
Jack's pretty good. 2-inch. I think 2-inch reach pretty awesome. Kraken's pretty awesome at pulling people in and knocking them down.
Kraken's a very good.
Stave is amazing for getting the ball back and knocking people down and limiting what you do.
You have to pick one.
Pick one. I'm going Mallet. Sorry. Just being the 3-inch reach is awesome.
I'm gonna go. I'll go Jack.
Okay.
The best midfielder. I know this straight away. Obvious. He can take a stack of influence that he can kill pretty much anything with, and just the fact that he can make people pass, move.
Yeah, unpredictable.
Yeah, unpredictable movement. It's obvious all day long for me.
Midas.
No, obvious. Okay. Yeah, for me, obvious.
Okay, so wingers. Who we classed as wingers?
It used to be missed. It's not anymore. It's now, for me, I like Sakana. Is he a winger?
We'll do winger / striker.
Oh, right. So if it's including strikers.
Okay, we'll just
Vitriol.
do wingers then.
It's Vitriol.
Vitriol for me as winger / striker. She's so good.
And to be honest, as we're moving to strikers, I'm going to say Vitriol again.
Not like Mash or Shark.
Vitriol. Shark, yeah, Shark. Yeah, it's got to be Shark, hasn't it? Is it fair including Cat? Who would you include? Obviously, Shark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shark. One of the main things that captains are getting into these votes is because they can take more influence, therefore do more. If you'd like us to answer it non-captain, stick it next week.
Yeah.
And then, alright, best damage dealer in the game. Let's do that as well.
Mallet on the charge can do Mallet stacked
without like superior strategy to best like straight up damage dealer.
I think
Boar.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Boar would get it ahead of Rage because of his melee. 2+ melee.
Yeah.
Gutter.
Yeah, Gutter, to be honest.
Because she can damage multiple people at once. So.
Blackout. Blackout commanding aura makes me sick. Oh, Tapper because...
Yeah, I think the Brewers... it's got to be Butchers or Brewers.
Yeah, and then the best sort of damage sponge.
Fangtooth.
Yeah, agreed. And then last, just the coolest model in the game.
Rage.
Avarice and Greed.
Oh, actually, there's a new one. There's a new guy on the block.
Who?
Harry the Hat.
Oh, go away with this.
Where's Houlihan?
Where's Houlihan? Oh man, so
he's going to get so much table tennis.
Thank you for the question, JS, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let's go next week. So that is it. That is episode 6 of On the Ball.
Short but sweet this week. So if you guys can add more comments in, I think we've had a bit of a lull coming up to Christmas. So get some more comments in for next week's show.
We're going to get next week's in before Crimbo, aren't we? So
hopefully
get some more comments in next week. We'll be glad to answer them. I hope you've enjoyed this, whether you've been sat painting or however you are watching it. But as always, we hope you enjoy it, and do us a favour and comment, like, share and subscribe. You've been watching me, Jay.
And me, Chris.
And happy Guildballing, guys.
Cheers.